Nutrition and exercise coaching can support women with metastatic breast cancer. To learn more about the Everyday Counts study in Milwaukee, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu. If you or someone you know has stage 4 breast cancer, please encourage them to call and enroll in this valuable study. Again, call 414-955-8819 or email edc@mcw.edu.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.
But day 1 is just one day. At the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, we are here to help you move past day 1.
On day 45, I discovered an online community who shared great tips for in-treatment care.
I missed a lot of school during treatment, and LLS helped me keep up.
We are here for you. We exist for everyone fighting leukemia, lymphoma, myeloma, and other types of blood cancer.
On day 185, LLS helped me file my insurance claims properly.
Day 5,840 and counting, and I'm still in remission.
To learn more and get help on day 1, day 2, day 983, or any day, please visit LLS.org or call 1-800-955-4572. That's LLS.org, 1-800-955-4572.
You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's Beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host, Kyle Wallace of Truth to Power, and it is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful Tuesday afternoon, Truth Nation, and a lot of big breaking news happening here in Milwaukee. We'll definitely get to it, but I was outside today walking around and said, boy, this is a beautiful, beautiful day. This feels like summer. And, of course, we're always live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue here in downtown Milwaukee. If you want to call in or text in, you can always do that by hitting our Truth Talking text line at 833-212-1017. That is 833-212-1017. If you want to call in or text in for today's show, which I think there will be some interesting thoughts. There's a lot of things going on. You have a president at the alligator Alcatraz, which kind of seems inhumane to me, that if people run away, they're running into alligators. I don't know if that probably reminds me of what slaves had to go through. And then also you have things going on in the sports world as well. But before we get to that, remember, y'all can watch and stream us live. Sherwin did numbers today. He did numbers today. I saw them views he had. I said, I need them type of views. So make sure y'all go and watch and stream me live on YouTube, going 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Yes, I see y'all in the chat. Yes, I'm good. I'm safe. I just found out what happened, and it'll be handled. But my goodness, that's crazy. Crazy times we're living in, Miss Rhea Riley. Crazy times. But make sure y'all watch and stream us live on YouTube. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Subscribe and give us a thumbs up as well and a like to this, as we are always looking to grow our audience on the YouTubes. Now, today I am going to start with Off the Top, and I want to start with some educational information. But before we get into that, I do want to give y'all some breaking news. The breaking news is that the Milwaukee Bucks guard that they traded Drew Holiday for, Damian Lillard, who you're all excited about the trade, Damian Lillard has been waived by the Milwaukee Bucks. Yes, you heard that right. If you have not heard, you hear it now. The Milwaukee Bucks have waived Damian Lillard, and he will no longer be a Milwaukee Buck, and they're using a stretch provision, which stretches his $113 million he was owed over the next 5 years. Now, there's been conflicting reports on whether or not he was excited about the move or shocked by the move. According to Chris Haynes, he was shocked by the move. According to Mark Spears, he was excited about the move. So we'll get eventually how happy people were about the move. But Damian Lillard is no longer a Milwaukee Buck.
Damn.
And with that, they signed Miles Turner, who is a center from the Indiana Pacers, who just recently played in the NBA Finals for the Indiana Pacers. He's been with the Pacers his entire career. Good move by the Milwaukee Bucks. Dame Lillard, he was going to be out all season long next year with an Achilles injury. I think it's a gutsy move, but I'm not really mad about it. Not mad about it. Some people say we should have kept Drew. Well, hindsight is 20/20. At the time, Drew couldn't score. He still can't score. And you needed somebody who can help you score. And unfortunately, Chris Middleton couldn't stay healthy. Damian Lillard couldn't stay healthy as well. Giannis even couldn't stay healthy. And we never got the best out of Dame that we can get in Giannis together. It is what it is. The Bucks are moving forward, and I do like the deal. And lastly, before we get into it, we're going to talk about tomorrow when I'm joined by Dame LZ. Is the big, beautiful bill has passed the U.S. Senate. We'll talk about that and what the ramifications mean for us here in Wisconsin tomorrow. But now, with all that being said, without further ado, go ahead, hit them with that, Rhea.
Woke up this morning. You got yourself.
Y'all know what time it is. It's time for Off the Top on Truth to Power. Kyle, let Truth Nation know what you got to get off your chest today.
See, what I got to get off my chest today is more educational and more informative for y'all, Truth Nation, because, again, this is Milwaukee Black Talk, and I'll talk about national stories, I'll talk about local stories, I'll talk about things that impact us, community stories, human interest stories. We hit on everything here on Truth to Power on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I hit on everything. And so today I wanted to talk about a state level, and big news coming from the state is the news came out yesterday that Tony Evers and the Republicans on the state level have agreed to a deal and agreed to a budget for the next 2 years. And now they have to finalize some things before the agreement comes through. But this is a good thing, right? And for me, it's just showing us that not having a gerrymandered state government works. It makes both sides, which we have Republican and Democrats now until Elon Musk spends money to elevate other candidates from whatever new party he starts. But we have people from both sides coming together to have an agreement. See, that's what the foundation on what this nation was built upon, was having difference of opinions. It's okay to have a difference of opinions, right? And having a difference of views, but still being willing to make sacrifices and being able to come to the middle to find common ground for the greater good. That is what America was built on, is finding common ground for the greater good of the people. You're not supposed to think alike. We're not supposed to be a monolith. We're supposed to have a diversity of thoughts and a diversity of ways that we see the direction we want the country to go, but we're supposed to be able to find middle ground. And when you don't have gerrymandered maps, which gerrymandered maps, for those who don't know, are maps that are basically created by third-party companies, by certain political parties, to carve out maps and basically choose who's going to win an election. So for an example, Milwaukee is mostly blue. But when you get to some areas of Milwaukee, Kenosha, and Racine counties areas, what they would do is they would have an area that was probably, let's say, 53% voting Democrat, 47% voting Republican. What they would do is they would take about 5% of the voting bloc that voted blue and shift them into a more Democratic district and move more red into it. So just with that, what they did was they switched who would win that district, and that's what they were doing. They were carving out maps, and that's in the state of Wisconsin. It was the Republicans. In other states, most of the time it's Republicans, but they did in New York as well, which is the Democratic state. North Carolina did it, but it's called gerrymandering. It's not the voice of the people. It's really the will of, not the will, but really it's politicians dictating who wins elections. So getting to the greater good for us and getting this bill done, I don't want Tony Evers to run for another term of governor. I believe that this budget, once it is signed, sealed, and delivered, he will at some point announce that he is not seeking a third term of governor of Wisconsin, and I don't want him to seek a third term. I think that'd be too much. But I will say this, Truth Nation, I am very proud. I'm very proud to have voted for him multiple times because he put Wisconsin first. He didn't put his ambition for any higher office above any citizen here in the state of Wisconsin. From people of youth to elderly age, he always put Wisconsin first, and it was refreshing after coming off Scott Walker, who had other ambitions. He ran for the governor of Wisconsin a second time, and when he was asked about would he run for president in 2016 after he was just elected in 2014 to be governor again, he said, no, I'm focused on Wisconsin. And as soon as he got a chance, he entered the race. It was a failed presidential election that lasted 100 days. But it's nice seeing civility brought back to the state of Wisconsin. It was refreshing. We were fortunate to have a governor and people here in Wisconsin who wanted more civility, and that's exactly what we got. That is what he brought back. No more gerrymandered maps, which he got rid of the gerrymandered maps. And he brought in equal maps, even maps, right? Which was good for the state of Wisconsin. The people got to pick who represented them, not the politicians. That's a good thing for us, Truth Nation. We finally had a voice again. No more political moves like telling Talgo, the Spanish train company, who was going to build their train factory right here in Milwaukee, in the Century City over there about 35th, 38th, and Capitol. That area that used to be A.O. Smith, that space years ago had a Spanish train company called Talgo that still has a footprint here in America, was going to build trains for the world right here in the city of Milwaukee, and Scott Walker turned it down, and we still to this day do not have anything that is worth writing home about in that space where A.O. Smith used to be. He played politics. He was trying to make national headlines. So I love a politician doing what's right for Wisconsin. So I truly appreciate Tony Evers. Now let me tell y'all what is in this bill. And I know this ain't the dramatic stuff that I usually go through, but we're going to get to that. Don't keep it locked. We're going to get to that. But I need to inform y'all because it's important that we understand what's happening on a local level, Truth Nation. And so just a quick little rundown of what we're going to benefit from this bill that had Democrats and Republicans come together and find middle ground. Everybody did not get what they wanted, but we got what was best for Wisconsin, and we won. We have won, Wisconsin. So this is what we're going to get from this bill. This bill expands the state's second lowest tax bracket, which currently taxes 4.4% of income for married couples earning $19,000 and $1,900 and $38,190 between that mark there for single filers. They expanded that up. So now under the new tax bracket for married couples together who make $67,300 per year and single individuals who make $50,000 per year, your tax bracket is going to be lower. That's more money in the pockets of Wisconsinites. That's a good thing. It also excludes from taxation the first $24,000 of retirement income received by individuals 67 or older. That's a lot of our grandparents, a lot of our parents, a lot of our aunties and uncles. Hell, my parents are in that bracket. My aunties is in that bracket. So knowing that I have family members that are now going to be able, who are elderly, who don't work like they used to, who are on a fixed income, now are going to be able to keep more money in their pocket. That is a win for Wisconsin. They eliminated residential utility sales tax as well, which is a win for Wisconsin because before they had it only for a couple months where you couldn't have a sales tax. Now for the entire year, you won't have an additional sales tax on your utilities. That is a win for Wisconsin. It increases the amount hospitals pay to the state to help fund Medicaid payments, which we know is so important with the big, beautiful bill that Donald Trump coined it, that's being passed. Raising the percentage of their net patient revenue they send to the State Department of Health Services from 1.8% to 6%. 30% of that funding, which will go to fund the state's Medicaid program. Again, that's more money for people under Medicaid when in a time where it's needed. Additional $300 million towards child care. $256 million towards our UW system, which for me is so important because the UW system plays a vital role in preparing the future workforce. I myself am a graduate from the UW system. Rhea Riley, what up, Rhea? You on the ones and twos. I didn't get a chance to say that today.
Hey.
She is a graduate from the UW system. Sherwin Hughes, who was standing here before me, is a graduate from the UW system. Carrie Noni, who was here before, is a graduate from the UW system. DJ Brother Z, who produces the Tory Lowe Show, is a graduate from the UW system. There's so many of us that benefited from the UW system. It's great that they're giving them the necessary funds to continue to give an excellent education and an academic experience that is needed to prepare the future of Wisconsin, but more importantly, the future of Milwaukee. Now, my favorite thing, Truth Nation, one of my favorite things that was done in this bill, because it's talking about compromise, this is the epitome of compromise. Now, hear me out. The percentage of costs of educating students with disabilities covered by the state would grow under the tentative deal that was struck from 32% to 45% in the second year of the budget. Now, this was a compromise between Republicans and Democrats because the Republicans only wanted it to be 37.5% and Democrats wanted to be 60%. They basically met in the middle at 45%. This is what real government looks like when people come together and compromise and do what's right for us as a citizens. So today, Wisconsin, I understand this ain't the juicy news. This ain't the topic that's going to get you riled up, but this would be the topic that makes you smile and makes you understand the importance of not having gerrymandered maps, the importance of having people actually have the opportunity to represent you and not, and know that they have to deliver for you, because they don't deliver for you could get voted out. People couldn't get voted out before because of gerrymandered maps. This is a beautiful thing for the state of Wisconsin. 833-212-1017. Before we go to break, I see Sir Chance on the talking text line said, yep, he's gone in Dame. No room for damaged goods on their roster. Certainly a no-no. Such would be blatantly counterproductive. More importantly, such move will prove to be very cost-effective, waiving him now. So I ain't mad about it. And also somebody in here said, bye-bye, Brooke. And that's in reference to the Milwaukee Bucks. So that's off the top for the day. I decided to be more educational. Rhea, did you know any of that information before I went through it?
Sure didn't.
There it is. Did you find some be educational?
Sure did.
Are you going to follow in any of these? Are you going to benefit from this at all?
I don't think so.
I don't know how much you make, so I don't know either. But, yeah. Well, okay. Somebody you know. Are your parents over 65?
One is.
Okay, well, there you go. Did your parents, did they maybe give you something to eat, give you some money sometimes, help you out a little bit?
They do.
All right, then. Well, the first $24,000 for the parent is your parents retired? I'm putting all your parents.
I'm saying, can we
all your parents. My parents is retired. They retired. So this is good for the Wallace household. But we got some stuff happening in 2026 I'm going to tell y'all about one day. But 833-212-1017, that is the Truth Talk and Text line. Yes, Pat Connaughton is also gone. They were able to move on from his contract as well. A good day for the Milwaukee Bucks, also a good day for the state of Wisconsin. But moving on to something else, it's a dangerous time to be a woman. And I was iffy about kind of going into this because of the fact that I'm not a woman. I can still speak to this, but I can't speak from it from a personal experience. But on the other side, I'm going to tell y'all why I'm sure damn happy that I was born a man and not a woman, because the things women have to go through in this point in time, especially when it comes to body autonomy, it's a dangerous world y'all living in. I'll tell you why on the other side.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Summerfest is back, and the award-winning 1017 The Truth has you covered with front-row access passes to the best concerts at Summerfest this year.
Tune in to all your favorite Truth shows every day so you do not miss your chance to win tickets and wristbands to see artists like Offset, Bossman D-Lo, Ira Star, T Grizzly, and so many more.
Do not miss your chance to see these artists up close and personal during Milwaukee's biggest summer party. Summerfest is presented by our founding partner, American Family Insurance.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience. The Pella Experience Center in Brookfield lets you see, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of windows and door options from 7 different Pella lines side by side. A friendly expert can go over Pella's endless possibilities for all price ranges, from colors to hardware to custom designs, ensuring you get the best possible look for your home. Pella truly believes that quality windows and doors don't have to be expensive. With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the U.S., you get the look you want at a price you can afford. Stop by soon, because if you order by July 31st, you can get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Certain restrictions apply. Visit the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. It's off Blue Mound Road, Kitty Corner to Cops, or schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need the $100 hookup. This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, and tie, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the $100 hookup. And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new, stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavani's.com.
It's your girl Noni Juice for Sweet Talks. Self-love isn't selfish. Feeling confident improves all aspects of your character, and no one understands that quite like Sweet Talks in Menominee Falls. Step into their judgment-free zone, where a staff of registered nurse injectors leads the way, recommending Botox, Dysport, or Daxify. Sweet Talks goes beyond injectables, though. They offer facials, lasers, medical weight loss, hormone therapy, and more. See why you'll want to join thousands of loyal patients at sweettalks.com. Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Let that money change us. Oh, they was the only ones who changed up. They ain't think we was gonna make it, so they gave up. Now they want something after how they played us. Bro, I told you these ain't the same as us. They went out here thugging in the rain with us, risking their life, putting in pain with us. Can't let my guard down, that's too dangerous. Young.
Ooh, I love T Grizzly. Milwaukee's biggest party on the lake is in full effect, and guess what? The award-winning 1017 The Truth has the hookup for you. Now is your chance to win a 2-pack of Summerfest tickets and a pair of wristbands to see T Grizzly at Summerfest. You can hear songs like this. Turn this up, Rhea.
First play dumb. First getting popped. Had to stop passing out money and get rid of my distractions. See how when you say you ain't got it, tried to bring together, push them forward.
Come on now, 833-212-1017. Beat caller number 10 right now. Caller number 10 right now to win a pair of tickets to Summerfest and front row access wristbands to see T Grizzly live at Summerfest on Saturday. Caller number 10 at 833-212-1017 right now will will have their chance to win 2 Summerfest tickets and also front row access passes to see T Grizzly live at Summerfest. That is caller number 10 at 833-212-1017. Man, I love T Grizzly. Y'all better get these passes. Y'all better pick them up. Y'all got to pick them up this week. Cause y'all don't pick them up, I'll tell you this now. When I come to Summerfest on Saturday, I'm going to stop here at the Market Hall at about 5 o'clock. If I see wristbands still here at 5 o'clock and you ain't got your wristbands, they mine. They mine. I'm telling y'all this right now because I'm taking them. So y'all better get these wristbands. Caller number 10 at 833-212-1017 to see T Grizzly at Summerfest this Saturday. You win 2 tickets to Summerfest and 2 pair of wristbands. 833-212-1017. That is the talking text line. Also how you can win these tickets. Now transitioning on really quickly. My mama texted me. She be listening. Shout out to my mama. And she texted me. She said, hey, she said, I want Tony Evers to run again. And I said, Mama, he too old. Tony Evers like 73 years old. He too old. We got to move on from all these old folks. And so with that, I just want to let y'all know, here's a little list for y'all to get to know, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. For those who want Tony Evers to run, he too old. So Tony, please don't run again. Pass this bill and move on. So very long-winded before. But again, as I expect Tony Evers not to seek re-election, keep your eyes on who will emerge next. Here are the names y'all should keep your eyes on. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul. He's probably the person who's a front runner. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley. He's been doing everything he can to prop himself up. He's doing a great job with the county of Milwaukee. He will look to run for governor. State Treasurer Sarah Godlewski and Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez. So those are the 4 top names that you'll probably be hearing. I can't wait to find out more information about who's going to be the person, but for me, it's probably one of them 4 individuals that will be the next Democratic gubernatorial candidate of Wisconsin. Now moving on to something else. So late last night, right, my little cousin came over. I think I told y'all how I had family over and my little cousin was coming over. She was supposed to be joined by one of her little friends, but her friend could no longer make it, right? Her friend couldn't make it or whatever. So I said, whatever, that's cool. And so I said, now I called her. I said, baby girl, now your friend can't come. It's getting a little late. Do you still want to come over and, do this? Or we can go ahead and do this a different day. Now, my baby, as in my girl, she sent her a picture of all the snacks that she bought, so she was already like, ooh, I want to come. But I said, now, you ain't got to come tonight. We can do it a different day. Don't worry about it. She said, nope. She made me so proud. She said, nope. I still want to come. Just because my friend ain't coming don't mean I don't want to come and hang out with my big cousin and my big brother. Her big brother staying with me for the next couple of days, him and his lady, who's in town. They in town, so they going to hang out with us. And I was so proud of that. I said, look at that. Putting family first. She said, just because my friend ain't coming don't mean I don't want to hang out with my big cousin. This girl, she a preteen or teen, just became a teenager. And so I was happy to hear her putting family first. So, we had time, and I don't, it's mostly boys in my family. So it was girl time, It's, all right, well, we're going to do all the girl stuff. They got the mask to put on the face. We're making the beads. Y'all black kids love them hot Cheetos, hot fries. I tried to eat them. I used to eat them, and I tried to eat it yesterday. My stomach was hurting. But that's what we used to do. Like, we had fun doing all the girl stuff, dancing, all that. Like, we did that. We had fun. And after we had fun, I asked her. It got a little interesting because I asked her. I said, so baby girl, what movie do you want to watch, right? And she said to me, this is when it got really interesting. She said to me she wants to watch a specific movie that I did not expect her to say. And the movie that she said, and I'm going to get to it, y'all. The movie that she said triggered my mind because I have been pondering having a discussion talking about this topic of women's rights and how this is a dangerous world for women for about a week now, but I just didn't get to it. I didn't know where it fit in with the show. The topic of abortion and the topic of how dangerous pregnancies can be, not just for the baby, but also the mother, right? I've been thinking about that, but I got a sign yesterday, Truth Nation. I got a sign because in that moment yesterday, when I asked my young teenage little cousin, who I love dearly, what movie she wanted to watch out of all the movies you would think a teenager would want to watch, she said she wanted to watch this movie called Fatherhood by Kevin Hart. Now, this movie, Fatherhood by Kevin Hart, I'd never heard of it. I'm assuming it was a direct-to-Netflix type movie because I'd never heard of it before. But she said it's one of her favorite movies. And it's a sad movie, too, because this movie is about a woman, Kevin Hart, whoever, I forgot what his name was in the movie, but his wife was pregnant, and they go to the doctor, and they said, oh, we got, hey, the baby's ready to go. Her doctor wasn't in town. They said, the baby's ready to have the baby, so we're going to do the C-section today. They said, really? Yeah. So the parents were all excited. Everybody was happy. The parents said, well, we got to get in town for this pregnancy, for this birth of our first grandchild. So they're all excited. They go to the hospital. She has the baby. Oh, Kevin's just, being a funny Kevin Hart, loving his wife, and all of a sudden his wife steps up and she falls down and collapses. And she goes into a medical emergency. Now, what's crazy is my girl said, Kyle, you shouldn't be watching this because your anxiety going to make you go crazy. And I said, damn, you know me well. That's why I love you. Because I used to have anxiety, but I was like, shoot. I said, this is crazy. I can't deal with this. But it hit me watching this movie, seeing Kevin Hart's wife, after giving birth to this child, the excitement they had about giving birth to this child, go through a medical emergency where she ended up having a blood clot and ended up losing oxygen to her brain. She ended up dying. And so the movie's called Fatherhood because it's about Kevin Hart raising this young child, this baby girl, by himself. And the sad part of the movie is when the parents came with the balloons to go see their daughter, they didn't know their daughter had passed away after giving birth. And so you see the mom run in and break down. It was just sad. It was sad. And what hit me, Truth Nation, is the fact that, yes, this is a movie, but we hear stories, right? We hear stories about women who die giving birth. You hear about Serena Williams almost dying while giving birth. This is a serious thing that happens to people. So just seeing in a movie, yes, this isn't real, but it is the reality for so many different women, so many different fathers, so many different mothers and fathers of the person giving birth, the woman giving birth, the families. This is a real life situation where women die giving birth. And so the fact that my young teenage cousin wanted to watch this movie, as I literally had notes written out, I had to, Rhea know I have all my stuff saved, to talk about this topic. I said, this is a moment now. This is a sign for me to talk about this conversation and have this conversation. And for me, talking about women's rights and talking about abortion rights, it just reminds me that I live in a sick country, and we live in a sick country where men get to have a say on what women do with their bodies. But if a woman was to suggest a man getting a vasectomy until they were ready to have children, and when I say we, I mean myself, I have a damn fit. Don't tell me, vasectomy. What? You must be out of your mind. We would go crazy. We would look at her like she was crazy. How dare you even suggest that? But so often we live in a country where men get to suggest what women get to do. Now, women also suggest it too. But a lot of these politicians in power are men. And it's not health professionals who are making these decisions. Sometimes it's somebody's personal belief or religious beliefs, which for me, I'm a religious individual, but I can't dictate and control what somebody else does. Now, we live in a country where many states have restrictive abortion bans. They have bans, and the life of the mother does not matter. There was a story that I saw. I didn't dig too deep into it till recently because it just sounded too sad and it sounded unreal, right? It sounded like the movie that I had just watched, but unfortunately, this was the reality for a family that had to go through this. There was a woman who lived down in Georgia who was brain dead for months, and the family was forced to keep her on a machine because she was pregnant, and pulling the plug in the state of Georgia would be illegal. Now, again, the family was forced to the family couldn't make a decision. The family couldn't come together and say, now, what do we want to do? Do we want to keep her alive in order to see if the baby will have a viable life, or do we want to pull the plug? Truth Nation, on the other side, when we come back, I'm going to play the story of a tragic incident that happened in Georgia where a family had to sit there and watch their loved one who was pregnant with her child be brain dead and lay in a hospital bed for months because the state of Georgia has restrictive abortion laws which does not allow for women who are on their deathbed to have any dignity. 833-212-1017, or you can go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. When we come back, you'll hear the story about a brain dead woman who was forced, she didn't have a choice in this, to give birth to a child that is now on life support. A family that was forced to look at their loved one lay in bed, basically dead, for months, only to give birth to a child and a baby that is on life support. Make sure y'all go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube, because on the other side, you will hear the sad story of a brain-dead woman in the state of Georgia forced to give birth because of the restrictive laws that we have on women's rights to choose what they want to do, even when the woman's health is at risk. This is Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace. You definitely want to see this and hear this on the other side.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
An unsuspecting driver at a Milwaukee barbershop.
I got an apprentice here shadowing me. I'm gonna put this hot towel on, man. About a good 3 minutes, all right?
The apprentice is Donald Driver.
So when you come here, you drive?
Yes.
Your car got seatbelts?
Yeah.
You wear them?
No.
Okay, but why not?
Because I don't want to.
But do you know you can get a ticket for that? I'm gonna give you a ticket. Bet you wish you buckle up now.
Oh my God.
Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Take it, click it. There we go. Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways. Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family.
They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 1017 The Truth.
What was the life change? You know, we all know it happened and we know things happen and you have bad kidneys, but what was the life change afterwards?
A couple things. Before they even allow you to get on the list, they make you go through a battery of tests. And, you know, a lot of people don't qualify because they're overweight or they have high blood pressure or high cholesterol. So all those things are requirements before you can even get approved to be on the list. So I had...
Wait, you got to be approved to be on the list?
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's interesting. There's a professional athlete or former professional athlete I know right now that has kidney disease and he's on dialysis and he wants to get on the list and he's not accepting all the things you have to do, you know, to get on the list. But yeah, so for me, I spent 30 years in the automobile industry. You know, that's 12, 14-hour days, eating whatever somebody brings you to eat, whatever you run out and grab, McDonald's, whatever. It was never salads and, you know.
Yeah, but that was a
water.
choice, right?
It was a choice. Yeah. But I had to change all of that to even qualify to be on the list. I had to get down to the weight I had to be at. I had to get my phosphorus under control, my potassium under control.
Wait a minute, even though somebody said they would give you a kidney,
absolutely,
you had to still make yourself eligible?
Absolutely.
Nah, that's okay.
When I mentioned the athlete, his relative actually died, and they wanted to take his organs, and they couldn't because he wasn't qualified. He wasn't on the list. Wow. Yeah, you have to be.
So there are over 100,000 people on that waiting list. So they are very serious.
And how many donors do we have?
And that's the problem. We don't have nearly enough donors.
Wow.
And that's why it's such a critical need. But they are serious about who they're giving that gift of life to because there are so many people who are literally dying waiting for it.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. NBA free agency is off and running. The Milwaukee Bucks making headlines this morning, agreeing to a 4-year, $107 million deal with free agent center Miles Turner. At the same time, the Bucks also releasing guard Damian Lillard and stretching out the remaining of his contract in order to make the move for Turner. Milwaukee also agreeing to a handful of 2-year deals with multiple players, Kevin Porter Jr., Taurean Prince, and Gary Harris. And lastly, over to Major League Baseball, where the Brewers will begin a 3-game series on the road in New York to take on the Mets. That first pitch tonight is scheduled for 6:10. Freddie Peralta expected to get the start for the Brew Crew. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
No, I don't just wanna. I wanna talk to you too. You gonna listen before I just be talking to you. Come ride with me, I wanna.
Congratulations to the winner, Donna, on winning today's T Grizzly giveaway. Tune into the Truth to Power tomorrow. I'll be giving away the last pair of wristbands to see T Grizzly. Make sure to get your tickets from Summerfest. You visit summerfest.com. Also, please make sure when you go to Summerfest, you go to Major Goolsby's as well. Go ahead, go to Major Goolsby and get y'all some of that food. The wings is delicious. I just had that on Friday, and some cheese curds as well. I had the chicken sandwich. So go ahead and go to Major Goolsby's as well, because they're fantastic right there at Summerfest. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. You can always watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Now, on the other side, we were having a conversation talking about how it is a blessing to be a man. I mean, being a black man in America, there's a lot of struggles that come along with it, but boy, oh boy, I tell you, at least I have a say with some of the stuff that goes on with my own body. And so why I say this is because of the dangerous world that women have to deal with here in America, and especially when it comes to body autonomy. Now, on the other side, I reference a story about a brain-dead woman in Georgia who was on life support, was forced to deliver her baby via C-section. Her name is Adriana Smith, and she was declared brain dead in February and was kept alive to continue her pregnancy. Go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube or turn your stereos up so you hear this story, courtesy of Atlanta News First.
After more than 4 months in the hospital, Adriana Smith is being removed from life support today. Her story made national headlines after doctors kept the pregnant Georgia mother alive until they could deliver her baby.
At the center of this story, Georgia's 6-week abortion law. Doug Reardon is live at Emory Hospital for us. And Doug, you spoke to Smith's family today.
We did, Blair and Carly, and they're still very much processing this. Adriana Smith was declared brain dead in February. At the time, she was pregnant, but she was past that 6-week limit that is allowed here in Georgia for an abortion procedure. And so doctors have been keeping her alive here at the hospital since then, until they could deliver her baby, which they did safely on Friday. Adriana Smith will be taken off life support today. A heartbreaking scene in an Emory hospital room as Adriana Smith's 7-year-old son Chase says a final goodbye to his mom minutes before she's taken off life support. Smith's family shared the painful video with us Monday as they prepared for a tragic moment 4 months in the making.
Very heartbreaking. We try to be strong. You know, it's very hard. It's very hard. For me and my family, it's very hard.
April Newkirk, Smith's mother, told us outside the hospital it's still hard to understand. In February, her daughter was admitted to the hospital with blood clots and never woke up. At the time, Smith was pregnant and passed the state's 6-week limit on abortions, doctors keeping her alive until they could deliver the baby, which they did on Friday.
I named him Chance because I felt like he had a second chance at life.
Newkirk says Chance is in the NICU, but doing well. The story grabbed national headlines and sparked an intense debate about one of the strictest abortion laws in the country.
And I just think it sparked something in everyone.
In a statement, the sponsor of the state's abortion law said, quote, Adriana's family and everyone who knew her are deeply saddened with her loss. Newkirk hopes her daughter's story will keep reigniting debate on abortion, women's rights, and the impacts that laws can have on families across Georgia.
You know that they didn't think about everybody in every situation. You know, they didn't think about the circumstances that happened.
This is completely reckless behavior. And Smith's family. Complete reckless behavior. Making a family suffer through something like this, making a child like that suffer through something like this is disgusting. It is absolutely inhumane. The family did not have a choice in this. And this is why I felt like it was so important to have this conversation, because enough is enough. There's so many different stories that I'm going to continue to talk about throughout this show. Is because I think we need to understand that this impacts real people's lives. This is not a movie. This ain't just talking points. This isn't people debating something. This is the reality that a 7-year-old had to look at his mother laying in bed, brain dead, for months. The scars of him and for a 7-year-old to not even be able to process and have hope. As adults, we have hope. Imagine a 7-year-old looking at their mom not moving or doing anything for months. For months. And Rhea, really quickly, I know you've done a deep dive into this story. What was your overall takeaway, and how did it make you feel when you heard initially about this story, and now that about 10 days ago, it finally came to an end when Adriana no longer was with us?
I've been following the story for a while now, and it's just been heartbreaking because I think for any woman, or just Black women especially, to advocate for yourself, especially in a medical setting, it is extremely hard. And for this to happen is just an experiment on what they can do to Black bodies. And it's disheartening because, what if I want to build a family one day? I can't trust my health care.
You cannot trust your health care to do what is right for you. According to Rhea, the body was decaying.
Yeah.
Her body was decaying. She was dying. And her mother and her family and her son had to sit there and watch their loved one decay. Now, we can all pray for Chance, who life did come from this, who's on life support. We can pray for Chance that Chance has a chance to continue to live, as the grandmother said. But this is a sad story and a sad reality. Again, that ain't no movie. That's real life. And what makes me even more sick about this is too many people make excuses about, oh, why this or why that, or the rules aren't that bad. See, there was another instance in Florida that shows that this impacts everybody. This isn't white, this isn't Black, this isn't Hispanic, this isn't Native American, this isn't Asian, this isn't rich, this isn't poor. This is something that impacts everyone. And there's a lawmaker in the state of Florida who was impacted by this. And what's crazy about it, Representative Cammack from Florida voted for restrictive laws in the state of Florida. She voted for Florida to have a very strict 6-week abortion ban. And then she found herself in a predicament where now she had to figure out what she was going to do. See, this woman, Cammack, who is a representative in Florida, voted for Florida to have one of the most strict abortion bans, where in Florida they outlawed abortion at 6 weeks, and with their current ban, it has no real exceptions for rape, incest, or the health of a patient, or the dignity and decency of the family and the emotional scarring that the family has to go through. It bans abortions before many people even realize they are pregnant. And in the state of Florida, she had ectopic pregnancy. She goes to the doctor. She finds out this tragic news. And when she goes to the doctors don't know what to do because this new law, because she was beyond 6 weeks, this new law made it very murky what they can do. And she was mad. She was very upset because she said, wait, y'all ain't going to do nothing for me? We need to get this done. She went to full Karen mode. And what's interesting about it is she voted against her own best interest. She put herself in a position where because she had this type of pregnancy after 6 weeks, she could not get the health care that she needed because the doctors were confused and did not understand the law and did not understand what they can or they cannot do. And what this woman, Cammack, did is she used her privilege of being a politician, where she contacted Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida. She used her access to the Florida governor to be able to get an abortion. The same access that nobody else gets, she got. We don't have the ability to make one call, that's all. Shout out to Grouper. To a governor to help us. Most Floridians don't have access to that. So the fact that she had access to be able to contact the governor to get an abortion while regular citizens in Florida and across this country don't have that same ability is messed up. I'm glad she got the care that she needed, but I'm mad that she stripped others away from that opportunity to have that same care. This is the country that we are living in. It's sad and it's unfortunate, Truth Nation, but this is the reality. And this is why I say I for one, am glad that I am not a woman, but I am also nervous and scared to have a daughter. Because what I learned last night when my little cousin was there with me and my girl, this is the first time that she done came and spent the night, I learned I could be a girl dad. It was fun. Boys are rough and tough, and I have fun, but it was cool. It tugs at your heart in a different way when you're hanging out with young kids and young girls. They seem so innocent, and they just want to be playful, and you just want to give them the world. And what I can't imagine is one day I start a family, and I have to go through something like this where I have to choose between my wife or my child. Or one day I got to try to make calls to people in order to get the access to the health care that we need or the necessary information that the doctors need. As Rhea referred to as a black woman, and this woman, Kat, is a white woman from Florida. She had access. But what we know here in this country that so many black women don't have access to care or they're not listened to. Serena Williams is an elite athlete known worldwide. And even she struggled to have the doctors listen to her when she was going through something during her pregnancy and almost died. So again, I'm upset, I'm sad, I'm disappointed in so many different words because of the fact that this is not fair. This is not right. We shouldn't have to choose between life and death. The state representative from Florida who had access to call Governor DeSantis in Florida, she shouldn't have had to do all that. The family of Adriana Smith shouldn't have had to sit there for months and watch their daughter decay. That is not fair to anybody. 833-212-1017. I know, Truth Nation, it's a little deep today, but I had to have this discussion because it came to me yesterday that this was necessary to have. Because again, when a young teenage girl is asked what movie she wants to watch after you done did these dance parties or mass, you done did all this kiddie stuff, and she says a movie called Fatherhood that talks about a woman who died giving birth and a man that had to raise his child on his own, it was a sign that we needed to have this discussion today, Truth Nation. 833-212-1017. Before I send y'all on the break and we wrap up the show on the other side, Truth Nation, we're almost here. It's almost time for the Truth Walk Against Violence. We're hosting our third annual Walk Against Violence next Saturday, July 12th, from Victory Over Violence Park, right down MLK Drive, right here to our studio here at 3rd Street Market Hall. Tori has been speaking with different politicians and different community members about how we can stop violence in our community, and now we want you to join us. We want 100-plus people to be there to join us for the Walk Against Violence, to bring awareness to the senseless violence happening in our community. To sign up for the Walk Against Violence right now, go to walkagainstviolence.com, truthwalkagainstviolence.com, and always know it is supported by 1MKE. I can't wait to see y'all on Saturday, July 12th from 9 a.m. to noon for the Truth Walk Against Violence. We'll wrap up Truth to Power on the other side.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. Truth Nation, are you looking for a fun opportunity to showcase your clothing line, restaurant, nonprofit organization, food truck, or small business? Well, look no further than doing it at our Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Riverside University High School. We are currently accepting vendor applications for our festival. You don't want to miss out on this great opportunity to promote your business and be part of all the fun. To be a vendor at Truth Family Fest, visit truthfamilyfest.com and sign up today. This is your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
So Black women's leadership needs to be prioritized. That means a whole lot of things, but it includes a message for white women, which would be, it'll be wise for you to take our lead. We've already demonstrated everything there is to the world about who we are. We shouldn't have to keep doing that over and over again. The reality is that there are times when we got to muster up the energy to do some things we don't want to do, but I don't want that
to be commonplace for me, and I certainly don't want it to be commonplace for other Black women. There's often this message that we need to stay strong because there are people depending on it. No, we need ourselves.
Yeah, you can't, what do they say? You can't pour from an empty cup?
Yes. And I even am hearing people say a lot more, you shouldn't pour from your cup at all until it overflows. And it's the overflow that you give. You keep the full cup for yourself.
This has been your Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin Minute.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need the $100 hookup. This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, and tie, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the $100 hookup. And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavani's.com.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
1, 2, 3, ho!
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth and Truth Nation. I just want to thank y'all for tuning in, tapping in, and hopefully being educated today. Every show ain't going to be about y'all calling in and, me getting y'all riled up about some, or me talking crazy about, something that we doing here in the state, or me talking stupid about something crazy. It ain't going to be about that. Sometimes we just got to sit back, relax, and you got to be educated. And you need to learn something new. And I hope I was able to provide some type of education, provide something new to y'all. And I hope what we learned today is that we need to advocate for ourselves, and we need to make sure we're telling our politicians exactly what we want, exactly what we need. Because I think it's so important for us to understand that we do have a voice. We just can't allow politicians to strip it from us. That's what we can't allow to happen. Tomorrow I'll be joined by Dame LZ as we have a shortened week this week. I'll be off Friday for the 4th of July. But Dame LZ will join me tomorrow. Thursday we'll be live from Summerfest. And one last time, I'm excited about the moves for the Bucks. I see Wayne on the talking text line said I should show compassion for Dame's mental health. He's going to get his money, but his career in all likelihood is over or in serious jeopardy. I think Dame will bounce back. He'll definitely bounce back. I don't know how great he'll be after it, but he'll bounce back. But I think the Bucks made some really good moves today as we move on to try to make sure Giannis is happy. So shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks for that, and shout out to you, Truth Nation, for tuning in to Truth to Power. The Tory Lowe Show is up next from 1 to 4. Peace out. I will see y'all tomorrow, Truth Nation. Thank y'all so much.